Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to the JMFG podcast. I want to tell everybody, first off, I want to apologize for not releasing the last couple of weeks. But as I told you guys before, had a death in the family, didn't have to do some traveling for work. Finally back in the studio recording. And I missed you guys. I hope you guys have missed the show. I hope you guys got a chance to catch up on maybe episodes you didn't see. And I was busy. I was trying to do a couple reels while I was gone, but my head just wasn't into it. But hey, I'm glad to be back. And I want to say, first off, I'm sorry that we missed 2 weeks, but then I also want to say thank you to everybody for all the letters, all the prayers, all the flowers, all the condolences that everybody sent to my family. You know, as everybody that know me, we lost my Uncle Nate a couple weeks ago, and it was just a big impact on my family because he's basically the last living male on the Glen side from Glenville Road, from the Hill, as I've talked about on multiple episodes. So, you know, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all those shouts out, those condolences, those flowers, and just keeping our families in your thoughts and prayers. And one thing I want to say before we start today's episode is, and I've said it before, take advantage of having your family here now. You know, I read something the other day where it was talking about every man wants to be a hero, every man wants to do this. And then at the end of the passage, the guy said, hey, if you want to be a hero, just die. Because once you die, everybody says all these great positive things about you, except for me. They'll probably be talking about all the money I owe them. But at the end of the day, the point I want to drive home to everybody is, while your loved one's alive and well, tell them that you love them. Tell them that you miss them, and go spend time with them. Because at the end of the day, once we're gone, we're gone. Nothing's going to bring us back. You know, I wish I could say 3 or 4 more things to my uncle. You know, I wish I could tell my mom and dad 3 or 4 more things. So at the end of the day, you know, just take that time, spend it with your loved ones. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you really appreciate them, because I don't think we do that a lot, especially as males. You know, like all my buddies, before I hang up the phone, and my family members, and I'm finna blast my uncle right now, but I used to always tell him, man, I love you, uncle, and all you hear is, dude, he'd hang the phone up. And I think my whole life, my uncle told me he loved me twice. And he would call, I called him back, like, hey, I just told you I love you. And he goes, yeah, I love you too, click, and hung the phone up. Because his generation, his era, that was, I don't know if that showed weakness or what, but me, I try to tell people, my kids, my friends, my family, every time I get off the phone, hey, love you. Hey, love you, bro. And I feel like, you know, and it's not just routine, you telling people that, because what if that is the last thing you say to them? At least they know if it's going through their mind. You know, when I talked to my nephew, he said, I love you. I said, I loved him too. And so at the end of the day, you know, that's kind of what, you know, the message I want to drive home is just enjoy your family while they're here. Because once they're gone, they're gone. Now, having said that, you know, we're going to move forward to this week's guest. Real good friend of mine. You know, I've known her, not long, but I've known her long enough. And she works in funeral services. And I figured, what better time to bring in somebody working in funeral services so we can talk about, you know, life before death, during death, after death, and all that good stuff. And I called her up and she was like, yeah, I'll be more than happy to. I was like, because I feel like this will help somebody, but we'll get in that story a little bit later. But now I'll go ahead and let my guest introduce herself.
Hello. First, I want to say, I'll send my condolences to you and your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Again, I know I talked to you before about that, but
thank you.
I'm Nicole Ray. I'm from Southport on the coast, North Carolina, born and raised. Let's see, I was in the military for a little while, but you know, that's not for everybody.
That's right. Thank you for your service.
Yes, I was 7 years.
Okay. So what did you do in the military? Did you do funeral stuff too?
No, I was a generator mechanic.
Really?
Yes, I was turning them wrenches.
Oh, look at it. Hey, let's be honest. You know, look at my hand. That look like a mechanic.
Well, you know, I'm a professional now. I don't get dirty.
Okay. I was say them nails ain't turning no wrenches.
No. They're soft now.
Okay. So how did you like the military?
It was okay. It was definitely an experience.
Okay.
Of course, I have males in my family, or females too, that were in the military.
Okay. And thank all y'all for your service.
Yeah, definitely. Thank y'all. And I did JRTC all 4 years of high school. So I was, you know, junior year, I was supposed to go join the military, but I was playing sports. I was like, I'm gonna miss all camps and everything. I can't go. Anyway, that was my first career. Now I am in funeral services.
So, hold on now. Hold on. First off,
comfortable.
Nicole, I gotta get comfortable because funeral service, you know, you start talking about dead people, like, you know, I'm like, hold on.
Everybody gets uncomfortable with it, but it's a natural thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I
so,
love it.
So I got a question. What made you want to work with like in funeral service? I don't want to say dead people because that's a sound wrong.
I knew I wanted to work with dead people in some way. I just didn't know which way. So I once I got out, I was like, okay, well, I can move back to North Carolina. The only school in North Carolina is the school I'm going to, Fayetteville Tech, that offers the program. So I was like, I'll try it out a little bit. I'm really not a big people person,
right? But
I knew I wanted to work with the dead in some way. And this is a good chance for me to figure out exactly what I want to do with it.
Okay, that's good. So now having said that, I got a question for you.
What's that?
Now, you got to tell everybody first. Hold on, I'm going to back up. Let's back up.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, Nicole, how do we meet? You make it short. Keep it short if you want. Keep it short. Keep it short. How do we meet?
You want me to keep it short?
No. Just go and tell it. Just tell how it is.
I'm sitting at the red light, minding my business. I'm blasting my music. It's warm outside. I'm chilling. Here come him in his truck.
Big truck.
Big truck. Hits me.
Hold on. In my defense, y'all. I just went to Firestone.
Right.
And I hit you right there at the light at Firestone. I just got my truck aligned, but the steering wheel is kind of crooked.
Right.
So I'm looking at the one, I'm like, man, something ain't right. Like my steering wheel is crooked. So I ease off my brake to straighten my tire up. I look back down my steering wheel and boom. I didn't hit it going like 100 miles an hour, everybody. I hit it going like 2 miles per hour. And of course, she
called whiplash.
She fell out of the car. Oh, my neck and my back. I'm like, it ain't even nothing wrong with your car. Girl, get off that ground. But nah, she didn't. Actually, I was freaking out. Yeah.
You were. And surprisingly, I was calm.
You were very calm.
Because usually, I'll be like, I'll be cussing them out.
Oh, yeah. But you didn't. I jumped out and said, excuse me, ma'am, I'm so sorry. We looked at your car. I go, it don't look bad. And then I was like, hold up. There's a little scratch or like a crack or something right there. Mm-hmm. And then I remember I told Miss Nicole, I said, check this out, ma'am. I got insurance. And then she said, well, I got to go get gas. I said, I'll follow you to the gas station. I followed to the gas station. I said, look, ma'am, I got a ton of speeding tickets. And then my daughter Lauren somebody had just hit her. I said, right now my insurance is just totally jacked up, which I left that insurance company, by the way. And I asked Miss Nicole, can we just take your car to a body shop?
Oh, you was going to do something.
I was like, we can take it to a body shop right now and I'll pay cash for it.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay. So I got on my phone. I tried to call a Chevrolet dealership first. They were like, is an insurance claim? Nope, but we can't do it. Then I called like 2 or 3 different body shops in Fayetteville. Nobody. And then I called Mako and the guy was like, yeah, we can do it, but it might take a little while because we're going to have to order the part. I was like, all right, perfect. We're on our way up there. And we left right there from Firestone on Ramsey's, drove all the way down Skybo, went to the Mako. I remember the guy walked out. He was like, hey, Mr. Glenn, because I got my daughter's truck painted there. I said, hey, how's it going, man? I was like, hey, man, I made a mistake and hit this young lady. I need to get a car fixed. Whatever's going to cost, let's get it done. And I'm looking at it thinking, it's a Volkswagen, Passat, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Volkswagen Passat bumper shouldn't be too bad. Man, that guy walked in. He's like, yeah, the bumper gonna be about $600. I think I can get it done by 12. I was like, good Lord. He said, when I cut your deal, we'll get it done by. I think he charged $1,100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then around there. Yeah, but they got it done, got it fixed, and that's kind of how we met and our relationship kind of started.
Cool with me.
Oh yeah, and that's where our relationship kind of started. And then, she was going to school but I don't think I knew then you were going to school for mortuary affairs because I was like, whoa.
Well, we didn't talk much about that.
Yeah. And then after that, after my uncle passed away, and me and my little sister was talking, I was like, hey, I got to get Nicole on the show just to talk about it.
I appreciate it.
And I appreciate you coming. And the reason why I got Nicole here on the show today is because for people that don't know, the show, we help through sharing, but also we want to try to make it educational people. Right. And one thing I will say, my sister called me the night my uncle passed away. Actually, I'll back up. My cousin Jawante called me first and told me my brother Nate was on his way home. Well, he's not my brother, but he's a brother to me. My brother Nate was on his way home, and she said they were giving my uncle 72 hours. So right then I was like, all right, I'm on my way home. Let me try to get a plane ticket. Of course, I couldn't find a plane ticket out of Raleigh like that late at night. So I'm like, screw it, I'll just drive home. So I left the next day. But my sister called me that night when she got home, and she said, hey, after Uncle Nate passed away, they cleaned him up, and we got to go back and spend time with him. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah. And then she was like, God, I wish we would have known we could do this with my mom and dad, because when we saw my mom and dad on their way out on their deathbed, my dad didn't look like himself. He looked sick, and my mom looked sick because she had pneumonia. So my sister said when she went back going to see my uncle, his name's Uncle Nathaniel Glenn Sr., but we all call him Uncle Nank, N-A-N-K, Nank. We got our country nicknames. And so she said when she went back in to see Uncle Nank, she was like, they sit there, and she said, I looked at him, I touched him, and she said he looked like he was at peace, he was asleep. Yeah. And so what I wanted to ask you was like, so is that everywhere? Like, is that law? Like, once they pass away, how does that work?
It just really depends. I know a lot of times in like nursing homes or any type of healthcare facility, most of the time the nurses will bathe them.
Okay.
And the family could be in there when we get there. They can be there throughout the whole process of us, taking them out the bed and putting them on the gurney. Even if they die at home. Okay. You still can bathe them. I had a couple of families bathe their loved one before we got there. And it made our job a little bit easier, actually. Gotcha. Okay. So it just depends on how comfortable you is with it.
Right. Okay.
But you can be there.
Okay. And so when you guys, because this is something I was always curious about. So like when my dad passed, we were in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So how does that work? Like, do you get it? Say like right now, Johnny Glenn passed away right now, and they want to take me to Bainbridge, Georgia. Cyrene, Georgia, Beltha Road, Glenville Road, we get them all in there. So how would that proceed? My daughter calls.
She will actually have to contact a funeral home here. Okay. And they will have to arrange with whatever funeral home you're using there to ship you there.
So how do you get shipped? Like, is that like cows? You just get on the back of the truck?
No. No, the funeral home you use here, they have to embalm you, make sure you nice and firm because you're traveling, so it's a lot of bumpy ride. Okay. Yeah, it's a bumpy ride. So they got to make sure you nice and good, and then it's paperwork. Okay. You have to pay, of course. Right. Make sure your tab here is good before you move down there, and then the funeral home down there just take over. They pick you up from the airport. That's it.
So so you can fly bodies and you can drive bodies too, though, right? Yeah. Because I know with my dad, our hometown was 4 hours from Atlanta, like 4 hours and some change. Mm-hmm. And I know they drove to Emory Hospital to get him, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they drove. Mm-hmm. And so once you receive a body, what do you got, 24, 48 hours to work on a body? Or as soon as you get him, do you start doing something with the body? Or
it just depends. If they're getting embalmed, getting just a burial, we try to do it as soon as possible. You don't want to delay that. Right. But if it's cremation...
Just put them in a freezer?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. And now, I know this sounds crazy, and I'm going to ask this, and I hope my viewers don't think I'm crazy.
Go ahead, ask.
No, I got to ask. So, like with my uncle, once he passed away, and that's just said he looks peaceful, right? Right. And, I grew up with Southern Baptist, and I know your soul goes to heaven and all that good stuff. How long is it before, like, the body actually, because I'll hunt deer sometime, not comparing deer to people, but, like rigor mortis setting, the body start to get hard. So, like, once that body passes away, like, they're warm for, like, how long? Just depending on the atmosphere? Or?
It just depends on the environment. Then rigor mortis takes effect about, 32, 76 hours after death.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, now I'm going to ask another question. I'm going to back up where you just said you got to clear your tab here before you clear it there.
Yeah, pay the funeral home.
I got you.
Here and then...
So now, what happens, and this is me asking, what happens if, say I'm a drug user and I'm on the streets? Because funerals are expensive. Very. So what happens if I don't have insurance?
If you don't have insurance. Okay, one thing, if the family doesn't actually have any way of getting money, they could donate the body.
Okay. So for all my viewers and listeners, you can donate the body, which means they'll use it.
Yeah, to like science, to like school I'm going to for, educational purposes. They have this thing where you can apply for care credit. Okay. And that actually, well, it depends on how much you get, approved for. You can go from there setting up your services.
So they run your credit?
Mm-hmm. And then they run your credit. And they'll tell you how much you get approved for, and then they'll send it to the funeral home, and you have to pay them every month. Because if you don't, it's going on your credit.
Hey, check this out. All y'all Glens down there in Cyrene, Glenville Road. Y'all already know my credit bad, so look, you better get some insurance. Because they call me on that. They give me a run my credit score. Look at I credit score like 312. So make sure, on a serious note, people need to have insurance and all that good stuff.
They do. Or you can pre-plan. I try to tell everybody that because a lot of people don't like talking about that. They think they're uncomfortable with it. So I try to encourage them like, this is going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen.
But it's going to happen.
Yeah. Make sure your family knows what you want after death.
Right.
You know, you might want to be cremated, but they might want to bury you.
Right.
You know, make sure you have something written down to let your family know what you want after death.
Hey, all my family takes out. I tell you what I want after death. I want everybody to shoot a prayer out, and I want to get up off that doggone bed or out that casket, walk on up out of there. Y'all make that happen. Y'all square with me. That's all. That's all. You square with me. Let's make that happen.
No. Another part of pre-planning, let me say this. Whatever funeral home you want to use, you can go there and you can actually pre-plan your funeral. Start paying on it. And the good thing about that is, because, you know, funerals are going up. We just had an increase in our prices today. Today, the 24th, we just had an increase in our prices.
So how much is an average, not average, how much is just hey, Johnny Glenn just died, we ain't got no money, we put him in the ground, we can pay a little bit. How much would that cost my family?
Whew, just simple.
Just simple with the cheapest casket. How much did that cost my family?
About between $4,000, $6,000.
Lord.
And that's bare minimum. That might be with a discount.
So how about cremation? What is it?
Oh, cremations at my job is a little over $2,200.
Good Lord. Okay.
Yes, and that just went up today. That just took an effect today. So yeah, and I mean they're different everywhere.
I got you. So now is the state is there any type of state program where people, because you know you got, you know, and I'm just being honest, but you got drug addicts, you got, you know, people on the streets, you got homeless people. When they pass away, what's happening to these people? Are we sending them off for science or?
No, they will actually try to get in touch with a next of kin.
Okay.
They'll try to get in touch with a next of kin, and you have a certain amount of time to claim that body before the state takes over.
And what does the state do? Is that all research?
Either they'll donate it for educational purposes, or they'll just go ahead and cremate it.
Okay.
Dispose of
because
it. Yeah, I mean nobody's claiming it. Yeah, they can't just have it sitting around. They can't bury it.
Yeah. So how does cremation work? And I don't want to get too deep, but you just put them in a fire and just.
Yeah, watch them. I can't say that. I won't say that. I won't say watch them roast. That's inconsiderate. But yeah.
So how long does it take for?
It depends on body mass.
Well, I'm a pretty big dude. What do you think? Like I'm like 6'2".
You're not that big.
I like thinking I'm a big dude. You know, 6'2", 6'3".
My vagina.
I know, right? So a guy my size, 5'9.5", 175, 180 pounds.
I don't know. It probably won't take that long. But I don't work in that side.
I got you. So you got the cremation side, and then you got the burial side.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of funeral homes, they have cremation on site, but ours is all the way in Wilmington. I work in Hope Mills. So
okay, got you.
That's a little hike.
That is a hike.
Yeah.
And so I know people talk about urns when people get cremated. Mm. When you burn a body down, do you burn everything from?
Burn it all down.
So now what if, this is me asking, what if a guy has gold teeth? Do y'all pull those out after you burn it down, or just all in the ashes?
Oh, yeah. So, once the cremation process, I won't say the process, but once the furnace part is over, mm-hmm. you know, you'll still have bone fragments that didn't burn down all the way. They gather all that, take out what they need to, and grind it up.
And then it all goes into the urn?
A little bag, temporary urn, yeah.
And then the family goes in and picks out all these expensive little...
Yeah.
Hey, look here, all y'all Glens. If y'all cremate me, Nicole just said it. Put me in a little Ziploc bag. Make sure y'all get the one with the slide. Now get a slide on it. Lock him up. Put him in the truck. Glenville Road. Sprinkle them ashes down the dirt road. Don't let them pave that road now.
That's what you want.
That works for me. I'm from the country. I love where I'm from. I'm always representing Cyrene, Georgia, Bainbridge, Georgia, Brinson, Georgia, Cyrene, Glenville Road. I'm always representing that because that is home to me. Right. And now losing my uncle, which was like a father figure to me, mm-hmm. I realize now those pieces of that puzzle are slowly, they're slowly just disintegrating. They're going away. They're fading away. So, and I got an aunt in the hospital right now. My auntie William A. Love her to death. She's like a mom to me. Yeah. My auntie Ann's in the hospital right now, and, I look at the people that were left on the hill where I grew up at with all the nicknames. They're fading away. They're dying. And it's like, all right, we're losing that because I moved away. My brother moved away. My cousin Jawante moved away. Like my cousin Betty. And granted, life goes on. But like I told somebody the other day, 3 to 5 years from now, probably 5 years from now, I'm taking my butt back to Georgia probably. I'll live on Glenville Road and I'll die on Glenville Road because that's home to me. That's safe. That's home. Yeah. And so, and I I keep reiterating this to people, tell your loved ones you love them.
Definitely.
Spend time with them,
I spend so much time away from home. Like, now that I'm 2 hours away, I'm always in their face. What y'all doing?
I'm like, what y'all cooking? That's what I'm saying.
I'm always calling the group chat. What y'all doing?
But that's good, though. That's
definitely. I love it. I missed that when I was gone.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I miss it all the time because I tell people all the time, if I got sick right here in North Carolina right now, people already saw the video. My kids like, you going to a home. They already said, you going to a home, put me in a home, and I'm gone. But I got a couple friends I feel like will come and take care of me for a little bit. But now if I became bedridden or became like, hey, every day you got to change my diaper, every day you got to do that. There are people on Glenville Road like my cousin Sally, my sister, if my cousin Betty had to move back, my cousin John, it's people on Glenville Road that would take on that responsibility. And then they would get to come up with a schedule and say, all right, John, you got him Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I got him Tuesday, Thursday, and we rotate.
Well, you're lucky. You one of the lucky ones because everybody don't have that.
And that's what I try to tell people all the time. I'm like, dude, when you grow up in a close-knit family like my family is, and it's like any other family, you always got problems. And we got problems in our family. But all my family members that are watching this right now, if we got issues in our family, no matter how big or small, squash it. You know what I mean? Because all our ancestors, we're losing them way too fast.
Everybody, not just everybody, no matter the age, everybody falling off.
Everybody's leaving here fast.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, we buried from our ancestors just so many. As a matter of fact, we buried my Uncle Nate on Friday, and we buried my cousin George. I call him my Uncle George, and I want to send out to the condolences of my Uncle George's family, which he was married to my auntie, and he became part of the family when he married my aunt. Yeah. So they lived in Baton Rouge. So his funeral was Saturday. My Uncle Nate's funeral was Friday. And his wife Brenda grew up on Glenville Road. So it's like we're losing so many pieces of all of that history right there. And I'm just like, every time I go home, I know my kids and my nephew, God bless my nephew, he's every bit of a country boy. But I'm always like, Colin, you see that pole right there? Let me tell you what that pole represents. You see that irrigation? Come down, let me show you the pasture. It used to be a creek.
Let me learn you something.
Oh, yeah. I told him all the stories that my granddaddy, my uncle, my father told me.
Right.
I passed that down. And then just to think that, that's our family. That's our land. That's, for me, I don't care nothing about the land as far as like.
It's your history.
It's our history. But what I care about is Lauren, Tyler, and Sarah, Pooh Bear, Deidre, my sister, Colin, my Veronica, Natalia, Aja, all my nieces, all my nephews, one day their kids should be telling these same stories that I'm telling my kids now.
Yeah.
And it should, and they should be like, Uncle Johnny, where everybody calls me Joey. My Uncle Joey told me da-da-da. My Uncle Nate told me da-da-da. And these kids should be passing that down so that, one, our last name is never forgotten. And two, it just shows a lineage of where we come from. And, that people always talk about, life after death. Do you go to heaven? Do you go to hell? As I've gotten older, I feel like there is heaven, there is hell, but I also feel like if you live a life with a family that loves you, you live a life with friends that love you, and you try to live a right life, you don't ever die. We talk about my dad, we talk about my uncle, we talk about my aunt.
It's your legacy.
We talk about it's your legacy that you leave.
Yeah.
And what legacy are you leaving is what I want to ask all my viewers, all my family, all my friends. What legacy are you leaving? Are you leaving a legacy of that guy that, like Johnny Glenn, with bad credit? Or are you leaving a legacy of that guy that, hey man, when my family needed me, I was there. Just like my family called me, I don't care what I'm doing, I drop what I'm doing, even if it's one of my family who I have beef with. My cousin Chris he's probably the closest I've ever had as far as family, him and my cousin, or my brother Nate. And me, him, Chris, and Nate, we argue all the time. I argue with Chris all the time, I argue with Nate all the time, but you know what? Listen. Hey bro, checking on you. Hey bro, love you. Hey bro, you good. Them the texts we send each other.
Oh yeah.
And that's how it should be. And that's what I think is how you live forever.
Oh yeah. My family know I'm around for them every day.
Oh, same here. Right
24/8.
24/8. And I don't care if they in the wrong. I'm going to go down there and be like, first off, I'll probably cuss them out, smack them around, tell them how wrong they are. Then after that, I'm say, okay, if you learned something, let's move forward. If you didn't learn it, let's back up and let's figure it out.
They always tell me I'm always preaching. You always preaching.
Oh, I get it all the time.
Well, y'all better start listening.
Yeah, but look at your line of work, though, Yeah. How many people come up there crying, I wish I could say one more thing. I wish I could do this.
Oh, man. They it's awful. I be feeling bad. you know, but I have to push my feelings to a side because I have a job to do.
Exactly. I got you.
But it's definitely a lot. It's a lot to take on.
Okay.
Especially when you sitting in those arrangement rooms with the families and that first meeting after everything just happened. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Now, since you just said that, I want to send out a shout out to my auntie. I'm going to try out the car here. My auntie Marvelyn, and I'm country, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. We always call her my auntie Gopher. That's what we call her, my auntie Gopher. But her real name is Marvin. And auntie, if you're watching this, I want to tell you right now, I love you more than words can ever explain. Because when my mom passed away, we were all hurt. I mean, we were all hurt. Me, my sister, my brother, my dad. But, you know, and I got a tight family, so everybody's there for everybody. But my auntie stepped in, and I don't remember seeing not one piece of paper or nothing. And my mom had the beautiful service. Only thing I think we had to do was sign like insurance stuff, and then I had to write the funeral home a check. But I think my auntie wrote them the first check, like, hey, I wrote the down deposit, whatever it is, or whatever it was. So auntie, if you're watching this, I just want to tell you, thank you. You're a beautiful soul, and I know I tell you all the time. I try to send you flowers every chance I get. But I just want you to know deep down in my heart, thank you for being there. So for all you people that are watching this, and like Nicole just said, try to pre-plan this stuff. Like my mom and dad had insurance, but they didn't pre-plan. And so we went up there. I remember my dad was like, well, what kind of casket we gonna get? I remember I called my auntie. And she was like, I got it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She picked up my mom's clothes. She knew what my mom and dad didn't know what they want to wear. So they picked out my mom's clothes, and my dad basically picked out what he loved seeing my mom in. And we just put my dad on something we knew he'd like to wear. Mm. But my aunt was there like through thick and thin. So for everybody watching, I would tell you right now, pre-plan, because I don't pre-plan nothing. So I would say pre-plan, like Nicole's saying, so that you don't run into these problems that people are like. What are you seeing like in your line of work? What are you
seeing when we get in those arrangement rooms? Families are stressed on top of, you know, trying to come to grips with what happened, that they can't pay for this stuff.
Right.
They want this, they want that, and then when they see the total price at the end, they be like, how am I gonna pay for that?
Right.
Where am I gonna get that kind of money from?
Right.
You know, people don't have about $8,000-$10,000
just
sitting
laying
around.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I ain't got $8,000-$10,000 sitting around. If I had $8,000-$10,000 sitting around, my credit score would be about 14.
Listen.
But on the same token, like you just said, if you pre-plan for it, then
yeah. So I don't know if I finished this earlier about the pre-planning. So go to whatever funeral home you want to use. Talk to a funeral director, because it's the only one that can sign off on it, and start your pre-planning. You can go from everything that you want in your funeral, the casket, everything, and whatever price that you start paying on that day, that's the price. Even if you die 20 years from now. When you die, that's the price. Yeah, even if the prices of everything goes up, that's the price that you're paying.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so it's easier to do that.
Right. Now, do you have to pay? How much do you have to pay?
It just depends
on what you pick out.
It depends, yeah.
And then that's monthly installments.
Mm-hmm. Monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, until it's paid off.
Okay.
So
do you have to put like a percentage down, or just?
Yes.
So it's like layaway. Remember Kmart back in the day?
Yes.
Boy, I'm about to lay away my funeral. Lord have mercy. Boy.
Yeah, we call it a pre-need. So, yeah, pre-need. That's just pre-need.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there watching, like Miss Nicole just said,
go get you a pre-need.
Go get you a pre-need. If you ain't got your pre-need, you wrong.
Because it will definitely help your family when that time comes. It really does, because they don't have to worry about, well, let's pick this out, let's pick that out. No. It's already done. It's already done. Let's pull the name. Let's pull the file. Yeah. It's already done. So I recommend pre-planning.
Oh, it kind of, I ain't gonna say it scares me, because I know I'm gonna die one day, but it's almost like you like, all right, man, let me go on and get ready.
It should scare you to go ahead and do something like that. It really should, because like, why you gonna hold it off? We're not living forever. Well, I get all ages on my prep table. Wow. You know, they not just older folks. You know, the youngest I haven't had a child yet, but the youngest I had was 17. So they're all, they're all ages. So it should scare you to want to do something about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense.
It does.
All right, well, hey, everybody. You're hearing it from Nicole. You know, the expert over here telling you to get your pre-need. So get your pre-need right. You know what I mean? Get your pre-need right.
Get your life together.
Get your life together. You know what I mean? Everybody talking about, get right with God. Hey, you get right with God, too, but tell God I'm going to get this pre-need, and then me you going to talk. All that. Because that pre-need, even though he coming, you need that pre-need before he get here.
Pre-need, and you need God. Any of both.
I want God to give me a little something down on it.
Huh?
I want God to give me a little something down on it.
I don't know. You can talk to him about that later.
Shit, me pay my down payment. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, look, you make the down payment, I'll make the monthly payment.
Listen.
And I got my pre-need, you know what I mean?
He said, I'll show you the way, but the rest is up to you.
That's it. But hey, everybody, I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I definitely want to thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been amazing. Not only did you educate me, but I'm pretty sure you educated some of the listeners too, because there were so many questions about how does the body get from point A to point B thing for me. That was mind-blowing because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know if you put them in a hearse, you put them in a freezer truck. I just didn't know.
Just a van.
Okay, just a van.
Just a van.
Now, when you ride with these bodies, is it just you in the van?
If I'm going to the crematory, yeah, it's just me. But if I'm going to do a pickup, I have at least one other person with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, are the people are in caskets at this point, are they?
No, we just have them on a gurney.
On a gurney.
Until we get back to the facilities.
Now, I got a question. This
Go
is
ahead.
Glenn.
Lay it on me.
What kind of music you listen to when you pick up a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, like you probably don't know nothing about these people, but check this out. Anybody come pick up Johnny Glenn, y'all want to get some country music going up in there.
See, when I'm in a vehicle with a deceased person, I don't play music.
Really?
I don't play music. I feel like it's disrespectful.
Really?
Yeah. And
well, I pray to God you ain't got to come pick me up,
Man.
but you can play some Jason Aldean, you play a little Darius Rucker. You can get some,
I don't play music. I mean, if I'm in the prep room working, yeah, I'll play some music. But if I'm riding in a vehicle, I try to be as respectful as I can.
That's cool.
I don't play music.
I don't think they're mine, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm a mine.
Now, some people to be one-handed on the wheel, blasting me, I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Well,
I'm not going to
y'all one hand on the wheel and blast Johnny Glenn when
That's
I go.
so disrespectful. I can't.
Not for me. I'm telling y'all now, you can blast.
Blast you some music.
Play me some good old country music and let it roll. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Well.
Make sure your family know that.
All right, y'all. They watching. You need to play a little Nell. It's getting hot up in here. So they know, like, what is wrong with this cat?
We ain't about to be riding on the road listening to them.
I'm trying to tell you, just let it all out. Just let it go. But I'm serious, though. I want to thank you for coming because it means a lot to me to know now what I wish I'd have known 4 or 5 years ago when my mom and dad passed. Because I would have loved to see my father, like my sister told my uncle, look with a peaceful face. So for all the family members out there that don't know, if your loved one is in a hospital, hospice, or whatever, or at home, like Miss Nicole just said, they passed away, you guys can clean them up yourself. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind cleaning my dad, bathing my dad, and taking care of my father, and then
one last
seeing
time.
him. It wouldn't have bothered me at all. Cause I remember my dad. I got some ugly feet. My dad has some ugly feet, and I remember my dad had told me to put lotion on his feet and cut his toenails. I was looking at it like, man, I need a man. I can go get a grinder for these things.
Don't have me out.
But I didn't even hesitate. I cut my dad's toenails. I washed his feet, and then I put lotion on it because his feet was cracking because he was getting old and. He was on his way out, but I would have loved it, bathe my dad, wipe him down, and then.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
If you're comfortable with it, like Miss Nicole just said, if you guys are comfortable with it, that's an option you can do, and that's something that I didn't know until my
And I would
told
really
me.
appreciate it too, because it makes my job a little easier.
Makes it easy, which is good though. Me personally, I would feel more respectful bathing my family and have somebody.
Yeah.
That's like.
I mean, we bathe them anyway and disinfect when we're playing bomb, but it definitely makes it a lot easier.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. But having said that, everybody, hey, thank you guys for this episode. Sorry, it wasn't dark to me. I thought it was awesome. This has probably been my most educational one as far as learning something. So
we're getting too old for death not to be a topic of discussion.
Oh, I totally agree. Well, some of us are. I'll be 29 in September. So
I know that's right.
So the rest of y'all just, hey, I got a lot more years. My editors back there give me ugly face like 29 plus 10 plus 8.
Ooh wee, boy, you had a hard life. 29.
I know, hard, like real hard. But hey, everybody, I want to thank everybody again for all the condolences to my family, and thank you for the condolences from my uncle. But hey, I hope everybody gets some out of this episode. I surely did. Hope I didn't get too emotional. And again, just tell your loved ones you love them. Get up on that prenup, not the prenup, the pre-nip.
Pre-need.
Get on that pre-need, not prenup, pre-need. Get on that pre-need,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to try to do that myself one day. Probably not no time soon, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on it.
Don't put it off. Everybody be like, I'm going to do it. And then that time come and it's like, oh, what we do?
It's just like having a will.
Yeah.
Yep, just like having a will. So, at the end of the day, guys, I hope somebody got some out of this. after you get done watching this, for all my friends and family that are watching this, do me one big favor and you'll be doing me a solid. Go hug your loved ones that are in the house with you. If they're not in the house with you, shoot them a text, give them a phone call. Tell them you love them. Give them a hug. Tell them how much you care about them. And tell them that when they're not here is when they're great. Because we always wait till somebody pass away to say, oh my God, they were so great. And Johnny Glenn was this and Johnny Glenn was that. Well, all the times you could have called Johnny Glenn and told Johnny Glenn that, why didn't you?
Sure.
So he know it before he dies or before he passes away or whatever. Yeah. So I'm going to ask all my listeners and viewers to do that. And then other than that, that's all I got. Stay tuned for the following week. Got another great guest coming at you. And as far as I know, we should be back on our every Tuesday schedule, 3:12 p.m. If something happens, you guys be the first ones to know. And again, I apologize for missing the last couple of weeks. But due to death in the family and work obligations that I had, just couldn't get back in time. But hey, couldn't have had a better guest. So Mr. Cole, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. But that's it. Oh, I think that was good.
Boom, bam, wham, bam. Thank you, man.
I
got a little oil on you.
That's because you was in here sweating. That's why I appreciate you coming.
I wasn't sweating.
God, I appreciate you coming. That was awesome.